My name is Jesse Braxton. I was a victim of a plane crash, and until my death, was stranded on an island left to fend for myself. Video log entry 4. Remember how I said I needed to find Gary? Well, I sort of did today, and now I'm wishing I hadn't. Let me explain. Today I finally had the chance to head a bit inland, looking for more supplies. When I came across a very dense section of a forest, I kept going in a straight line so I wouldn't lose direction. And as I started going through, I started to smell something terrible. At first I didn't know what it could be, but I followed the smell and eventually I realized it was a dead smell. Something had died here recently, which sort of got me a bit worried, because if something had died, that means something had killed it. I kept walking further inland, following the smell. The trees started getting closer together, and before I knew it, I was ducking and weaving around these trees. It was around then that the smell started getting really strong, and I thought it couldn't be too far from here. So I continued maneuvering around these trees, and then just before I even knew it, there it was, right in front of me. The source of the smell. It was a human being. A dead human being. Suspended from the branches of the trees, and further above that, a parachute. Gary's parachute. One of the ropes looked like it was tangled around his throat. Maybe it wasn't tight, I couldn't really see. Just to make sure I didn't make the same mistake with the pilot, I thought I should at least try get his attention. And that's when I noticed he had been mauled by something. It didn't look like a large dog or animal. Something smaller. I still can't even think of what it could be. So I slowly approached his body and called out his name, and then all of a sudden he responded, but it wasn't him. Whatever it was, it suddenly just started scratching at the air, maybe trying to breathe, but it certainly wasn't Gary. His eyes were pointlessly staring into space, like he didn't even notice me. And the only sound he was making was some weird growl. There's no way that this is real. The more I think of it, the more I realize I must be in a nightmare, but there's no way of waking up. My mind hasn't not been the same since the crash, but this definitely feels different. This place just has a weird vibe. And that reminds me, when I woke up this morning, it felt like my memories had been manipulated. Things that I knew so well before are fading. It's hard to explain, but then again, I did hit my head pretty hard. Maybe it's just a temporary memory loss. But like I said, this place does feel very strange, to say the least. Anyway, I didn't stick around Gary, or whatever that thing was, too long after that, just in case whatever did that to him came back. That just about sums up everything that happened today. I'll definitely be leaving for the mountain tomorrow. I've waited here long enough, and I don't think anyone's coming. And I do not want to wait just to end up like Gary. That being said, until tomorrow, Braxton out.